You know the drill, right? Every January, we make these huge, ambitious goals, and almost every single year, they just kind of fall apart by February. But what if the problem isn't us? What if it's the whole system of New Year's resolutions itself? Well, today we're going to explore a totally different way to plan your year, and it's inspired by the thinker Chris Williamson. It doesn't start with goals, it starts with reflection. Okay, let's just start with a dose of cold, hard reality. The numbers do not lie. A staggering 91% of all New Year's resolutions fail. Just let that sink in. For every 10 people you know who are all fired up to change their life, 9 of them will have given up before the year is even over. So this isn't just you failing, it's the system that's failing. I mean, with a failure rate that high, it's a pretty fair question, right? Should we just pack it in and not even bother? No, not at all. We just need to reframe what this opportunity is really all about. And here's the key idea from Williamson. The real magic of the new year isn't the stroke of midnight on January 1st. It's the pause. It's that weird, quiet week between Christmas and New Year's. It's this rare moment where society kind of gives us permission to slow down. It's a natural break in the chaos, and it's the perfect time to stop thinking about what's urgent and start thinking about what's actually important.
So, if making resolutions is the wrong tool for the job, what's the right one? Well, the answer is pretty simple: asking better questions. Instead of just setting more goals that we're probably going to fail at, let's dig into 3 really powerful questions that can give us the clarity we're actually looking for.
Okay, question number 1. This one forces you to define what success actually means to you. Forget what social media says, forget what your parents think you should want. What would genuinely, truly make you look back on this year and go, yeah, that was a win? It just cuts through all the noise and gets right to the heart of what matters. This next one is absolutely brilliant. It's all about creating some distance. Picture it. If your life was a movie and you're the main character, what obvious thing would the audience be yelling at the screen for you to do? Leave that job or end that toxic relationship. It's usually the truth that we already know deep down, but we're just too scared to admit to ourselves. And the final question? Think about the last 12 months. With everything you know now, what advice would you give your past self? The answer to this is so powerful. Because here's the kicker. It's almost certainly the exact same advice you need to hear right now. Our biggest lessons have a funny way of repeating themselves. Okay, so once you've asked those questions and you have a sense of direction, you need to understand the mental landscape. You have to know the rules of the game, the psychological traps that are designed to trip you up and derail all your progress before you even get started. Our default setting is what you could call addition thinking. We just try to pile more and more on top of a life that's already overflowing. But we forget a basic law of physics. To add something new, you have to subtract something old. The mindset shift is to subtraction thinking. It's recognizing that to pick something up, you have to put something else down. And this quote right here, it captures the ultimate danger of just striving for the sake of striving. Without taking that time to reflect first, you could achieve incredible things that mean absolutely nothing to you. It's the tragedy of spending your entire life climbing this massive ladder, only to finally get to the top and realize it was leaning against the wrong wall the whole time. Oh, this is a huge trap. It's the belief that our real life will begin when, I'll be happy when I get the promotion or when I lose the weight. But here's the thing. Problems are a feature of life, not a bug. They never fully go away. This hypothesis makes us wait for a starting gun that is never, ever going to fire. The big takeaway here is what you might call the unteachable lesson. You cannot fix an internal feeling of emptiness with external achievements. Chasing money or fame or status to feel like you're enough is a game you just can't win. It's called unteachable because for a lot of people, they have to actually achieve all those things just to realize they were never the answer. All right, enough with the high-level, scary traps. Let's get super practical. Now that we've got the mindset right, what are the small, low-effort habits that give you the biggest bang for your buck? We're talking about the things that create a positive domino effect across your entire life. Let's start with 3 simple moves. First, no phone in the bedroom. Seriously, this one thing can improve your sleep and lets you start your day on your terms, not reacting to emails. Second, a morning walk. Just a few minutes of sunlight and movement does wonders for your body and mind. And these 2 habits, they set the stage for the third, which is the absolute golden rule for consistency. And that rule is never miss twice. This is the antidote to that all or nothing thinking that kills most good intentions. Look, you will miss a day at the gym. Life happens. That's fine. One missed day is just an error. But missing 2 days in a row, that's not an error. That's the start of a new bad habit. So the rule is simple. If you missed yesterday, you just have to show up today. So, to tie all of this together, let's look at a story that completely flips our modern chase for success on its head. It's called The Parable of the Mexican Fisherman, and it really puts our whole instinct to just climb into perspective. Okay, so the story goes like this. An American businessman is on vacation in Mexico, and he sees a local fisherman with a small boat. He asks him what his day is like, and the fisherman explains, "Well, I fish for a few hours in the morning, I catch enough for my family, and then I spend the rest of the day with my wife and kids relaxing." The businessman is just horrified by this lack of ambition. He immediately launches into this frantic 15-year plan. He's like, no, you should get a bigger boat, then more boats. You'll hire a whole crew, open a cannery, move to New York, and eventually take the whole company public. The fisherman just listens patiently to this whole elaborate scheme. And then he asks a really simple question. And why would I do all of that? The businessman, just beaming, says, "So you can finally retire. You'll be a millionaire." And here's the punchline. He says, "So you can retire, move to a small coastal village, and fish a little in the morning, and then spend the rest of the day with your family." The great prize at the end of this decades-long stressful journey is the exact life the fisherman is already living. The lesson isn't to be lazy, but to make sure your ambition is actually pointed at a life you want. At the end of the day, we can get so caught up in optimizing and achieving that we totally forget the big picture. Let's be real. In 3 generations, no one's even going to remember our name. If that thought doesn't liberate you to just drop your problems for a minute and enjoy the ride, what will? So as you look ahead to this year, don't just set another list of goals. Ask better questions. Understand the psychological game you're playing. And please remember the fisherman. Each year is a blank chapter in the book of your life. The only question that really matters is, what story will you write?